Shalom, we are the real Hebrew Israelites. We want to give all praise and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash.
We want to give double honors to our elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And we also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing this truth in Babylon with sincerity. All right. And with that, if you're one of you brothers, can grab me Ecclesiasticus. You want to grab Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 in the Apocrypha. And then, brother, if you would pull out Matthew 4:11. I'm sorry, 4:1 through 11.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve Yahweh, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Khan. So with the men of the Lord, the elect, don't get it twisted. We're gonna have to suffer, tribulations and trials. This reward that we're working toward, it comes with much endurance, much patience, and eventually some of us will even lose our lives for the testimony of this truth. And it said, can you read that one more time, Ak?
My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Khan. So we're going to pull out two examples of temptation in the scriptures really quick. And first, you know what? Scratch that. Grab Genesis chapter 3, brother. And then if you can hold that, and can you go to Matthew 4:1?
Matthew 4:1.
God. Genesis chapter 3, bro.
Just start at verse 1.
God. 1 through 7.
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh power had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea.
Can you go back? You bring out that's the serpent, right? You're reading about? Yeah, read that again.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord power had made, and he said unto the woman, Yea, hath power said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman...
Khan. So that serpent is subtle. He's a subtle serpent, right? And that's that wicked spirit that was on the earth during the time of Genesis, which was, Cain, and then later through the regeneration was Esau, Edom. All right, what call it out? What verse you're at?
Verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the trees which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Khan. So right here, the serpent, who is that wicked spirit, on the earth, and that's why we call Esau the serpent, because he's got that characteristic where he appears to be this great, nice, sympathetic, caring man. That's how he deceives the nations, right? But in reality, he's a treacherous snake,
Yep.
And that's what we're out here. The whole purpose, besides sealing the elect, is also declaring the beast. All right, we're declaring who the beast is, and right when we say a red-bearded Edomite, there's the beast, riding the beast,
Yep.
But anyway, that's that serpent, that wicked spirit, right, who is Satan, right, and Satan manifested through a man is Esau, Edom, right, and right here he's tempting Eve, right, telling her to do something Yahweh told her not to avoid. At that time it was the sons of God, right? They weren't the Israelites yet. They were known as the sons of God. Okay, so right here, the serpent is tempting Eve to taste that tree, the tree of knowledge. And just so we know that this metaphor is dealing with men and not actual trees, let me bring out this precept real quick. This is in the book of Ezekiel. This is chapter 31 and 9. It says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches. And what that's dealing with, this is talking about a tree. Does it say branches? So he said he's made him fair. The word fair means beautiful. All right? So he's talking about the sons of God, who was Adam at that time. Right? He said, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches. And later on, what was one of the blessings of the children of Israel? That they would outnumber, they're innumerable. All right? Outnumber the sands of the sea and the stars in the sky. There's more Israelites than those things, you know. So it says, Ezekiel 31:9, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of Yahweh envied him. All right. So, can a tree envy? Does a tree, a physical tree, have the ability to envy? No. It's talking about men here. All right. So
that's why when the blind man restored his sight, the first thing he saw was trees walking around instead of people.
And not only that, that's why you get that term family tree, because it's dealing with people. All right.
Yep.
So go ahead and read on.
Verse 4, and the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for Yahweh doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall...
Right now, this is in the time of Genesis, so it's just literally the spirit of the wicked, Satan, right? Esau, Edom would come later through Rebekah and Isaac, but that's that characteristic. He's a beguiler, meaning a liar, trickery. You know, he's gonna trick Eve. He goes at the woman, right? He didn't go to Adam. He went to Eve because he knows this so-called white man. He knows who the weaker vessel is, right? And he turns our women against us in this captivity that we're in. You know, you 2/3 and you heathen. You guys don't think it's captivity. You know. Go ahead and read that again. What you just read.
Verse 5: For the powers do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as powers, knowing good and evil.
So there's that serpent, that wicked spirit, lying to the to Eve. You know, she's that weaker vessel who's vulnerable. You know. Go ahead.
Verse 6: And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
And don't that sound like a woman and a 2/3 and a heathen? You know, these women, they're all about the materialistic, right? Like you hear people say, hey, I got a nice car, not because I like these cars, but it's because I like women, and I know this is the bait. You know, so women they're weak. They're the weak vessel. You know, all you need to have is a nice bank account, a nice car, a nice house, and you can get you a dime piece in captivity. You know what I mean? But how hard is it to find a virtuous woman in this society? You know, there's no good women out here, man. Their mindsets are just like Eve. You know, the daughters of Eve out here. And really, that word, the elders always bring it out, feminine. You know, that's a Latin word, and if you break it down, fe means faith, and minin is like minus. So you know, minus faith or lacking faith. So even men act feminine, man. When you're an unbeliever, that's a feminine spirit. You know, because you lack faith. You know, so that's what feminine means, to lack faith. That's why women's only hope is through the salvation. For salvation is through a man, you know, and it has to be an elect man or a 1/3 Israelite, you know. All right.
Verse 7: And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
That's good. That's good on that. So they knew they were naked, and it's not talking about like physically naked. It's referring to they expose themselves to sin, right? So one of the metaphors for being sinful, transgressing the law, is you're naked. It's now, it's shameful to transgress the law, just as, many people would, feel ashamed if somebody saw them butt naked, So that was the woman's example of temptation that I wanted to bring out. And now, one of you brothers want to grab Matthew 4?
Let me grab this quick. I got that on deck.
Got it
Let me
set.
grab this separate quick.
Matthew 4.
Oh, he can read Matthew 4. You stay on Ecclesiastes. Go ahead. I'll
Go on,
get that
go on.
set down.
This is Revelation 16 and 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame.
Con. So if you're walking naked, if you don't know these scripts, and you don't hearken to this truth, that's you're gonna be walking naked, and you're gonna be exposed when Yahushua visits the earth. He's gonna come like a thief. The brother just brought out. Thief doesn't announce when he's coming to take your, to steal your stuff. No, he comes unannounced. But guess what? To the men of Yahweh, it's not going to be. He's not coming to like a thief to the men who are in this truth. And why is that? Because we're preparing. We know what the scriptures say. We're starting out with our elders.
And, get a precept on that. Why it's not going to come to a thief to us in the night, and that goes back into Genesis chapter 1 verse 14. And the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven, and divide them from day and night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So even then he's giving us, the stars, the moon, the sun for signs for the days and to come as
and the moon, it declareth the times, and so that's how we track the Sabbaths. That's how we track the feasts and the holy days.
Weren't the apostles also talking about how, what was it, that Halley's Comet? It had like 7 tails with it, and it was like basically in like,
God, that's interesting. I missed that one off, but
it was one of the while back, but it was basically like the beast, the 7 heads
because
coming down.
You think about it, when these chariots come, the men of the Lord, it's going to be frightful, until we're changed, but we're going to know what it is, while all these heathen and these they're going to think it's green aliens coming at them,
Like that one guy they posted on that video, it's aliens, he's all,
bugged
out.
Yeah, man, and we know what it is,
It'll be like chickens with their head cut off.
We rejoice when we rejoice when we see him now, the thing is when that chariot comes, that's the presence of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, and that's a glorious, powerful thing. So even when the prophets of the ancient times, were interacting with Yahweh, they became fearful, Okay, go ahead, We're going to read about Yahweh Shai's temptation.
So this is Matthew chapter 4 verse 1. Then was Yahweh Shai led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
God, and at this point, that devil has manifested in the scriptures into the Roman Empire, right? Edom, the Edomites. Any historian will tell you that, the Roman Empire were Edomites. And their forefather is Esau.
It's funny too, because I was going through my videos and stuff on my phone, deleting certain videos, and I found one that I recorded a while back, and it was an Edomite breaking down how the book of Revelations is condemning the Romans, and how they make it very clear that the Romans are the devil.
Another precept, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, bring it out.
Revelations chapter.
Let me just make this point really quick. So going back to what the brother's saying, even if you go to the internet encyclopedia in Esau's internet, you go to Wikipedia, you click on the religion tab, and a couple of paragraphs into that, it declares to you that the Romans were the Edomites who later became the Europeans. All right, so it's that so-called white man.
This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
Bring that, yeah, and see, that's the spirit, because I wanted to bring that out today. It was in my mind, I was thinking about that. But it says that old serpent, we're dealing with that same serpent that beguiled Eve. All right, why does he say that? That old serpent, right? Because it's the same damn serpent, same dragon. Same dragon. Go ahead, I'll keep reading.
This is, verse 3, just to finish it off. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he shall deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years shall be fulfilled, and after that he must be loose a little season.
And that bottomless pit is dealing with Europe, because Europe, one of the reasons why they call it referred as the bottomless pit is because there's not many resources in Europe, right? So literally, that's why the Edomites were stealing from the so-called African country or nation, continent. So, they were stealing from Africa because Africa is more resourceful than Europe, and then later on they went and took all the goods in the North Americas, in Nazareth, the new land,
This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread.
And this is a contrast to what we just read in Genesis with Eve. All right, because you see Yahweh, he's preparing himself, just like this man up here. We're up here preparing for this end, for this last day, because without these scriptures, which is the stability of thy times, there's nothing that's going to help you, man. But Yahweh Shai, it said he was fasting. And what was he fasting, and what else in that verse?
He said he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and he was afterwards and hungered.
And that's an act of discipline, right? So if you don't believe me, fast, it's discipline, so the contrast of Eve, who was not disciplined, right? She jumped right at the bait, right? Esau, that spirit of Esau was telling her, hey, go and take from this tree, right? Which was that wicked tree, And Eve jumped right on that shit and gave some and influenced her husband, Adam, But Yahweh Shai, he's over here fasting, disciplining himself, and keep reading that.
Verse 4, but he answered and said, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh.
And that's something that you would come to your mind. If you're fasting, you're gonna realize, like, this is the true bread right here. This is the bread of life, these scriptures, But you have Yahweh Shai, he's fasting in that discipline, and that thought came upon him,
Verse 5, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and sat him on a pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, If thou be the son of Yahweh, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So that's that spirit of Esau, right? He's like, he don't believe anything until he sees something divine and happen right in front of his face, right? He has no faith, right? He's got a feminine spirit. We already told you what that means, lacking faith. Esau has a feminine spirit, while Jacob has a more righteous spirit, because our people, even if they're in darkness, they show a zeal toward Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Even though it's in the wrong, they invest in the wrong treasure, but they show that zeal. Esau don't do that, Esau doesn't show faith. He's a feminine spirit, lacking faith,
a great thing. Even before I came into this truth, the full truth and understanding of this, when I was out in the world, I used to hear a lot of Jakes, man, say, I put everything over, I put this over everything, or I put that over everything, I put money over everything, it's like, I used to sit back and like, no, man, you're supposed to put the Most High above everything, And I used to sit there like,
and those thoughts that you had, those were manifesting, and that's why Yahweh led you to this camp, because we all felt like that. When we were young kids, even, we may seem like, damn, because I grew up in a Catholic church, so I was around the church, but you would see kids and adults acting so foolish and wicked. Even as a kid, you would question it. You're like, I thought we were supposed to be good, you know what I'm saying? So when we came across this truth, we knew it was the truth, and we valued it, and this is our treasure,
Let me read verse 6 again.
Okay.
And said unto him, If thou be the Son of Yahweh, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Khan. So that's those Romans telling Yahweh Shai, hey, they're trying to have him tempt the Lord. You're not supposed to tempt the Lord, right? Or try him, Yeah, we're up here, doing the work, but that doesn't mean we think we're invincible. You know what I mean?
Right.
Verse 7.
We still have these weak bodies. This flesh is weak. We're not invincible. Of course not. And we don't put ourselves to be above other people. You have to keep a humble spirit in this
even the
thing.
people in the world, man. Because you came from the same point, and you could turn into the same person at any moment.
Khan.
Verse 7, Yahweh Shai said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt Yahweh thy power. Again the devil taketh him up into the exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world.
Khan, and that's that government, because at that time Rome was the highest government. It was the superpower on the planet. So these Romans, they're literally trying to get Yahweh Shai, to bow down to them. Kind of like with Colin Kaepernick, they're trying to oppress him and say, hey, you need to get on your knee to our flag, And in that same fashion, Yahweh Shai is like, fuck you, I don't serve man, I serve Yahweh. And that's the same thing we do, we got to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves,
Yeah,
but
look at Radshak, Meshach, and Abednego.
God, I thought about that too, yeah. Yeah, they didn't honor the what was it, Nebuchadnezzar?
Yeah.
They wanted, because that's how that white man is. He's so full of himself and arrogant, that so-called white man. He wants everybody to bow down to him. Look at Trump. Does he not have that spirit? Where he expects everybody to kiss his ass, these world leaders. He walks around just like this, just like he does in his own mansion, I'm sure, Like, you guys serve me. That's the attitude Esau has, all right? Yahweh Shai, he even said, hey, I came to serve, the flock. He came to feed the flock. But it's the two contrasts, Jacob and Esau, man. That's the difference between us. That's why we can't get down with you, Esau. It's two different spirits, Go ahead, what verse are you on, 6 or 7?
I'm on verse 8.
Okay, can you read 7 again?
Okay. Verse 7, Yahweh Shai said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt Yahweh thy power.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and read 8, my bad.
Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them.
Khan. That's what this devil's doing now with these Israelites, right? Kanye West. Well, he's saying, come here, Kanye, come into Joel Osteen's church, And that's a big ass church that guy has, that Joel Osteen, And he's like, they're pushing our people. Pretty soon they're going to use those, and they're already doing it actually, because Drake, the rapper, he's pushing the microchip in his music. And Kanye, he's going to be that next guy that they use to start pushing this wickedness and deception. And you know, Jake women, they eat that shit up. You know, they show a picture of Kim Kardashian and Kanye together with the kids, and as you just see, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's all Jake women. You know what I'm saying? Loving that shit. And they're saying, oh, well, Kanye's a good guy. He's down with Jesus. You know. And they even did a little, I don't know what it was, but I saw in an article Joel Osteen and Kanye West, and I think they had like a hologram for Jesus, and then he was up there with Kanye. Did you see that? Yeah, that's what happened. You know, so same way but Kanye wasn't diligent, right? Yahushua was fasting. He was, he was preparing for this hour of temptation. He knew what was going to happen because he knew the scripts. He was a master of the law. You know, Kanye, that's that selling yourself to that devil. And who's that devil? It's that Edomite, right? He's got all the riches right now. He can grant any one of these Israelites and make them a superstar. You know, and to deceive their own people. You know. Go ahead, Ak. Don't you question why they don't use a so-called white man to do that? Because Jake's not going to follow the Edomite, you know, not to that point, you know. I mean, they do. They follow Esau's wickedness in captivity, but they still look up to the Israelite people. You know what I mean? Even Esau looks up to the Israelite people.
Jake could persuade the masses to, compared to a heathen or a Edomite. You see a Jake doing it. Oh, look, he's doing it. Oh, like
nobody's gonna be like, oh shit. Even Eminem, they push him so hard. You know what I mean? And it's like you still got, you got a lot of Jake in darkness though, because they're all on Eminem's nuts. You know, but
he's probably a Jake too.
Maybe he is. Maybe, I don't know. but you know what I mean. You like these. They're not gonna use the so-called white man to try and get Jake to their deception. They're gonna use an Israelite to deceive the Israelites. You know.
Yeah. Anytime you see an Edomite or even a confusion of face in that point, it's always to glorify Esau, like Conor McGregor. You know, Conor McGregor's up there, which, he's probably a Jake, but Esau's trying to glorify themselves, you know what I mean? You got all these Edomites, oh yeah, Conor McGregor.
And he's probably a Jake.
Yeah, he's probably a Jake, yeah.
But
there ain't no telling for sure, but, just seeing that he's stronger than Esau
and
gives you a sign.
That's why we use the scriptures to discern the spirits, because if we gave this truth to Conor McGregor and he rejected it, then even if he's a Jake, hey, guess what? You have a spirit and the fate of an Edomite.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the same, you're going to burn in that same fire as all those heathen and those damn Edomites, right? And the 2/3.
That's why you had Israelites referring to other Israelites as heathens plenty of times throughout the scriptures, man. Because that's how they were acting.
Because they're always joined unto the heathen, you know? Mm-hmm. That's why the scripture says, hey, I removed thee from the heathen when he talks about that elect. Go ahead, Ox.
Verse 9, and said unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
So what did Kanye do? He fell down and worshipped Esau. That's why Esau has said, here's all the money, here's Kim Kardashian, here's, here now you can be in our church. You know what I mean? But what Yahushua, he didn't do that thing. Go ahead.
Verse 10, then said Yahushua unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt not worship thou shalt worship Yahweh thy power, and him only shall thou serve.
He said, Satan, hey, get the fuck on out of here. Get behind me, man. I'm looking at something else. I'm focused on something else. That's the same fashion as us up here. Esau tries to be funny and mock us and try to offer us money and whatever you think he can think of to insult the truth. And what do we always tell him? Hey, we don't want your shit, Esau. You know? We don't even want your reparations or anything, you know? But some of these 2/3 do. You know, but the men of the Lord, hey, you got to endure. You got to be patient. You got to make yourself hard for this truth, for this end that's coming. You know, when this end comes, you got to be ready, man. You got to, you know, you may have Esau might hem you up, just like they did Yahushua and crucified him. You know, he knew. He said, hey, it's been finished. You know, it's been fulfilled. You know, right before he passed away, right before he died, he gave up the spirit. You know, that's how it's going to be. So much oppression out here. You know, there's going to come a time where some of us are going to be caught up, and hey, Esau going to take us to that guillotine, man. He's going to say, you want to live, you take this microchip. Otherwise, you're going to get your head chopped off. You know, so you know, if you don't be diligent, how are you going to be ready for that? You know, that's going to be a real thing.
I got a precept, bud.
Okay.
Will you grab it now?
Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 14. For as much then as the children are partakers of flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had the power of death, that is the devil.
Yahushua he didn't take on the nature of angels like the Catholic Church teaches you, that, you know, by the Immaculate Conception, which we call it the Immaculate Deception, you know, because what they tell you, that the angel came down and knocked up Mary, you know, and we talked about it a couple weeks back. Hey, Joseph banged Mary for Yahushua to come about, and that's why
the whole first chapter, everything before that in Matthew, tells you the whole genealogy through the male seed line, beginning with David and ending with Yahushua.
It doesn't say Michael the Archangel came down and had a pleasurable night with
it doesn't tell you Michael the
Mary.
Archangel's seed line. It doesn't tell you his seed line, man. It tells you the seed line of men that were in the flesh.
Through Jesse, through David,
you
know, through the Israelites.
But the reason why he came in the flesh is to do something that we couldn't do, man.
And be perfect.
Yep.
You know,
and that's really the best example you could have of enduring temptation, man, would be Yahushua, because he actually conquered it. He conquered the story here. The brothers breaking down. He conquered it in the wilderness, man. And that's why when you go on, it says verse 15, and deliver them who through the fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage, meaning because they had to be perfect in the flesh. They were subject to the flesh. It says, verse 16, for verily he took on,
that's the verse I was waiting for. Yeah.
For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham.
He did not take on the nature of angels. He wasn't a spirit. No, he was in the flesh walking in Rome, you know? But you got all these bugged out Christians and Catholics and every other denomination in Babylon that literally thinks that it was like, they think that it was just, the angel knocked her up. Joseph knocked her up, man.
Last two verses, it says,
Joseph was a Judite, a so-called black man.
Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the heavenly Father, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. For in that he made himself, in that he himself hath suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted.
And he set the example, right? So now you have the men of Israel and the prophets. Hey, we're practicing these righteous acts, preparing for that temptation, you know?
And that's why you got to reflect on that, man. Reflect on Yahushua. And that's why he says he's able to succor them, man. He's able to help you out because he endured through it, man. He knows what you're going through. You call upon him and say, hey, you know, you endured through it. You conquered the flesh in the wilderness. Baba Kasha, help me get through my hour of temptation. Help me get through this. They're trying to give me the chip. Help me get through that. You know what I mean?
So that's why we got to mimic. That's what we're doing out here, mimicking. This is Yahweh Shai, like the elders were bringing out yesterday. That Yahweh Shai moved from place to place to place, teaching this word. What do you think we've been doing these last couple months? We've been in a lot of different places. Just that's the same fashion Yahweh Shai taught. He didn't just stay in one spot. Khan, what do you got?
Just verse 11, just to finish it off. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Khan, because Psalm 34:7, the angels, those chariots, those things encampeth round about the men that fear him. That's Psalms 34:7, if you want to bring that out.
This is Psalms 34:7. The angels of the Lord Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai encamped around about them that fear him and delivered them.
Khan, so the angels ministered to Yahweh Shai after that devil left him. He rebuked the devil, and then there's the angels. Building him up. Keeping him, giving him that stability.
You endure through it. You level up.
Khan. And right now there's chariots that are seeing this camp today. We can't see them all the time, but hey, we know they're here. We've seen them. Khan, you want to grab Isaiah 53:10 up, and then go ahead and read that up. Ecclesiasticus.
This is Ecclesiasticus 2:1. I'll just start at 1 again. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And make not haste in time of trouble.
Khan, so don't make a quick decision in that hour of temptation. Don't flip the script and take that chip. No, endure, man. Go ahead.
Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end.
At the last end, right? So Yahweh already destroyed this place with water. He ended the world with water one time. Now it's going to be fire. And that's what that last end is referring to. All right? This is going to be the last end, especially for Esau, the Edomites. Go ahead.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Khan. So you want to bring out that Isaiah?
This is Isaiah chapter 50, verse 10.
53.
53?
Yeah. And so that low estate, because people mock us, they talk shit when they drive by, and in their eyes, we're at a low estate, But to the angels that we just spoke about that are witnessing, the men teach of Israel, that's the opposite, man. This is a glorious thing, Go ahead,
Isaiah 53 verse 10. Yet it pleases Yahweh to bruise him. He hath put him to grief. When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed. He shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of Yahweh shall prosper in his hand.
God. So it pleases Yahweh to bruise it. Even, it says in the scriptures, when you get mocked and scoffed, that you should rejoice, because you're taking part in that same thing that Yahweh Shai took part in. Men reviling him, meaning talking shit about him, talking bad about him, making false claims about him. You saw that this week, or last week with the Hebrew Israelites, where they're trying to demonize the Hebrew Israelites on CNN, but they call it Black Hebrew Israelite, and that's even right there an insult, right? Because when, even if our Judite brothers and our Seminole brothers were here, they're not black. That's a color. That's not a race or a nation.
Actually, black isn't it all colors?
Yeah, pretty much.
And Zorba.
Con. And it actually represents evil, you know. That's why the so-called white man demonizes the Israelite men, you know, and I should say the Southern Kingdom, you know, and calls them black, you know. Literally, he's the black evil spirit, you know. That's why those Jews wear all black, you know, in Israel, the Israelis, you know. That's the synagogue of Satan. Go ahead, Ak. Did you read two verses, 11
I read verse 10.
Okay, go ahead and read 11.
This is 11. He shall see the travel of his soul and shall
Travail.
Oh, travail. Shalakia. He shall see the travail of his soul and shall be satisfied by his knowledge. Shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear the iniquities.
Con. Because even a wicked spirit, man, you put some travail on a wicked spirit, and they become they start thinking about the higher power, you know.
Yep.
You know, you put one of these wicked 2/3 Jakes in jail, these so-called black, so-called Native American, and so-called Hispanic. You put them in jail, and then maybe they're wicked as hell on the outside. They get to the inside, and all of a sudden they're picking up a NIV Bible.
But most people crack under pressure, man, under temptation, man. Look at Job. You know, as soon as he was catching all that affliction, his woman right away was trying to get him to go off, man.
Con. And he kept his integrity.
So that's what the Most High is doing, is causing you to get harder and grow and harder and grow and endure until the point of perfection, man.
Con.
And you know, just like if you put stress on a thing, you know, it might get some certain tears and whatnot in it, but it's going to grow tougher and stronger, man, like a scar. That's what's happening to the elect.
The woman always wants the easy way out. That's why she told Job what she did.
Goes for the money.
You know, that's why our women are the way they are. You know, they're not happy in this kingdom.
And not
seeing
just
these
the women,
Edomites.
even the men. They got the feminine spirit of Esau. They want the easy way out.
They want the same riches that the Edomites have. It's like, no, we're in this world. This is not our resting place.
Not our rest. Yeah. Con. And the example I like to use, the analogy, is like when you have a son and you put him in Little League football, his first day of practice, man, he might be a little soft, you know. But as that season progresses, hey, now he can hit, now he can tackle.
Yep.
And you're pleased at that day. You had to bruise him to get him there, you know.
Yep.
In the same fashion,
That's right.
Yahweh does that with his men, you know. So when you're you know, going through some shit, hey, especially if you're an elect, you know, you're gonna triumph over that. This is we're afflicted for a short season, the scripture says. All right, compared to eternity, this little camp that we have to set up, this work we have to do on the streets of Babylon, you know, this is temporary, man. We're not gonna be out here all the damn time. You know, you think we're gonna be doing this in the kingdom? No, we're gonna be enjoying life in the kingdom, you know? We're gonna have a different, beautiful woman.
It'll be time to rest.
We're gonna be worshiping the Most High in righteousness. You know, that's our resting place, like the brothers say.
There ain't gonna be no Edomites.
And when there are Edomites, they're gonna be working their asses off in your establishment.
Yeah, all you Edomites are gonna be able-bodied in that day, man.
You're gonna drink off the cup you made us drink off of, you know? Damn Edomites. Go ahead. What are you reading on?
That was 53 and 11.
Oh, okay, that's good on that. If you want to bring out Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2 in a second, go ahead and continue on.
This is going on the book of Ecclesiastes.
Actually, I'm sorry, Zechariah 13:8. Bring that out first. And then go ahead.
Chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
Just like we were talking about, you know, that's that fire you had to put your little boy through in football practice, right? And he became a good player. He may go on to play college football, or maybe even a pro athlete, you know, because he had to go and endure through that tribulation. You know, he had to work for it, you know. Same fashion, the men of Yahweh, we got to work for our reward, man. And even when now we're not guaranteed, you know. That's why we refer to ourselves as the hopeful elect. All right. Go ahead and bring out that Zechariah.
Zechariah 3 and 5?
13:8.
Oh, 13 and 8.
Yeah.
Lock it.
Oh, it's all right. We're just dealing with that fire, you know, and that how Yahweh's got to. How do you clean things? You know, if you want to clean germs or anything, you can burn it. You know.
Yeah.
And that purifies, just like the brother's about to read.
This is Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it came to pass that in the land, said Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Dealing with the 2/3 of Israel. All right, because we're right now trying to get in our mindset. We woke up early to do this, right? You know, we're trying to understand these scriptures. You know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem, Kakadash, we are doing that. You know, but you 2/3 are still loving your kingdom with Esau, cleaving to the heathen. You know, and that's why you got to be tried through the fire. Go ahead and bring that out again.
Verse 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Khan, that third is those men that actually come to the camp and they may listen and believe this truth, right? They may be those Shalom brothers like, hey, Shalom. Some of those guys, you know, they are going to get taken up in them chariots because they have a belief and they're going to believe. Maybe they wake up at the last second, you know what I mean? Because the scripture speaks about that. How men are going to be saved in the very last moment. They're going to be like, oh, Yahweh Shai, you know? Snap out of their darkness, you know? Con, go ahead.
Verse 9, and I will bring the third part through the fire. I will refine them as silver is refined. I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power.
Khan, and through faith, we know that his name is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai B'Hashem. All right? We're not calling on Jesus Christ. You know, and the 1/3 is dealing with the 1/3 of our nation, like I said, that's going to actually, they come across the truth and they're going to believe it, you know? But the 144,000, that's like, you know, that's where you want to be, man. You want to be in that number, you know, and Lord willing, we are those men, you know? That's why we come out here week in and week out, you know? Go ahead, that's good on that, huh? Then if you want to grab, now that Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 2,
Going on
6.
verse 6, Sirach 2 and 6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him.
God, we gotta trust in Yahweh, man. We gotta you're not gonna get a good faith if you're not in these scriptures and being diligent. You know, you can't build your faith. You know, go ahead, Ak.
Just like he brought Yahweh Shai through it, man, you got to believe he'll bring you through it. Verse 7, that's why that example was there of Yahweh Shai. It says, ye that fear Yahweh, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall.
And let's find out what that mercy is, because Christians, they want to walk around in Babylon talking about they're saved, all right? What are you saved from, you know? What are you saved from? Yourself? You saved from, you know, Esau, Edom? No. The true salvation is right here. Go ahead and bring it out, 5 and 2.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Because when these Edomites and these heathens see these chariots, these so-called UFOs, they're going to be shitting their pants, man. They're going to be freaking out, thinking, like I said, that it's green aliens coming to invade them. Right? Go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of their salvation, so far beyond all that they looked for.
So they're going to be amazed at the sight of the men of the Lord getting taken up in so-called UFOs, man. And it says the strangeness of their salvation, because that's going to be a strange thing for them to witness, right? They're not going to be expecting that. It says so far beyond that they were looking for, you know? They're not looking for the chariots to save the men of the truth, while those nuclear missiles are being fired every direction into America, Babylon, you know? That's going to be a strange, fearful sight to these heathen and to these Edomites. But even my little girl, man, she's all about the chariot. She's 6 years old. She gets it more than these heathen. She gets it more than these 2/3. You know. She. You know. So go ahead and read the next one.
Verse 3. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and in proverb of reproach. Verse 4, we fools.
That's good on that. That's good on that. So you know, they're going to have an anguished spirit, man. And it's going to turn into they're going to be dead, you know. They're going to die.
Yeah, they're going to be bugged out, man. These same guys that we were talking shit to and like the brother said, was scoffing at, are getting delivered from this great and terrible destruction.
Khan. And you know that Yahweh's going to set it up to where all the most wicked scoffers and the most wicked spirits of Edom, and they're going to be having they're going to have a front row seat at our salvation. You know what I mean? They're going to witness that thing, you know? They're going to be like, oh shit, them niggas and spicks, they're the ones I'm getting burned up in this fire, you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
As you take your
a precept on what you're saying right
Go ahead,
there.
Ak.
take your Sarah Connor way out.
Khan, there you go, Edomite. There's the Esau, Edoms. That's your fate, according to the Holy Scriptures.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretch out my arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it.
Khan, because the mark of the beast is a plague. All right, that microchip, that's going to be a plague to these people. All right, the missiles, those are going to be plagues to these people. The men of the Lord, they're going to be lifted from a mighty hand. You know, even more mighty than the first deliverance. You know. Now we're talking intergalactic. You know. Not to take anything away from Yahweh's power during the time of the Egyptians. You know, but this last trumpet, you know, this
going to be the greatest victory.
Khan.
Well, you know what? We've been so deceived in this Edomites kingdom that we don't even understand fully the powers they had back then. Like even Hamashiach, we don't understand that. Like even in the times of Noah, we don't understand what was going on.
And that's why we're reading the scriptures and coming back to remembrance with the start of our apostles. You know, our elder apostles. We're coming back, man.
Because I'm amazed. It's like, man, our people was the head of everything at one time, and now we're the tail. It's like, man, like, it's I believe in it. It's like to see it now is like, how did we do it without the sword? You know, like
see, and you didn't know that until you got taught the scriptures. You know, we didn't know that. Now we knew that, hey, we're the greatest people on the planet Earth. We are the salt of the earth. You know, the flavor, if you will. You know, but like the brother's saying, hey, our people have been dumbed down, and our people have been beat down to the point where they don't know who they are. They don't know who their power is. You know, they don't know their heritage. They don't even put value in the scriptures. You know, they'd rather go to a Edomite church and you know, think that they're doing a good thing in there. You know, and because of that darkness they're in, you're gonna get killed in that fire. Justifiably so. You know. What are you on? What verse? What chapter, I should say? What book?
You told me that was good on it.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and grab Matthew 5 and 12 next, and then you go ahead and continue on.
This going on, verse 8 of Sirach 2. Ye that fear Yahweh, believe him,
Matthew 5.
and your reward shall not fail.
God, that was 8. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him. And you see, so when you fear Yahweh, well, hey, your reward is not going to fail, man. That's why we're out here today, man. We want to get that prize, you know. We want to get that crown, you know. we wanna endure. You know, even if it means our life.
Yeah,
you know?
because the Most High is not a man that he should lie.
Kind.
Or an Edomite that he's going to make you sign some contract that has some
Fine print.
fine print, hidden words. You got to
God.
pull out your spectacles to find these words that tell you a whole nother thing that you didn't agree to.
Con. Go ahead and bring that one out.
Matthew chapter 5 verse 10,
12.
12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so prosecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Con. That's it. That's good on that. So hey, great is the reward. You know, and we got to understand that, hey, just the way they're going to come down hard on us and scoff us and revile us, that's encouraging to know, hey, our forefathers, our prophets, they dealt with the same thing, you know, so that's what it is. Nothing new under the sun, you know. Go ahead, Sirach.
God, what's going on Sirach 2 and 9? Ye that fear Yahweh, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust Yahweh and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
God, so that's an encouraging thing for the elect, you know, to read that. And Lord willing, we are those men. But you know, it says basically in that verse he just read, hey, did Yahweh ever forget about anyone who called on his name, or anyone who believed in him? You know, we're going to get an account of that right now in 1 Samuel chapter 17.
Verse 38,
Start at 27.
27.
Or I'm sorry, 37. And read to 40.
Okay. This is 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 37.
And this is, let me just set it up. This is David, King David, before he's getting ready to get the heads with Goliath. All right? So go ahead and read that.
Verse 37, David said, moreover, the Yahweh that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, go, and Yahweh be with thee.
That Philistine is Goliath, right? Yahweh put the faith in that young boy, David, King David. He said, hey, David was testifying. He said, hey, Yahweh delivered me from the paw of the lion, from the paw of the bear. He's surely going to deliver me from this, this giant of a man, this Philistine, this filthy Philistine. You know what I'm saying? That was the attitude he had, right? Through faith. Go ahead.
Verse 38, and Saul armed David with his armor, and he put an helmet of brass upon his head. Also he armed him with a coat of mail.
Was that Saul? Is that who you read? Saul?
Saul was putting that on David.
Con.
And David grind his sword upon his armor, and he asked to go, for he had not proved it. And David said unto Saul, I cannot go with these, for I have not proven them.
Con. Because David, Saul had that spirit kind of like Esau, right? That's why Yahweh took that righteous spirit from Saul. But Saul's like, hey, David, here's my helmet, here's my shield, here's my sword. Because he knows he's getting ready to go fight Goliath,
Mm-hmm.
But Saul was thinking carnally, and David was thinking spiritually. You know what I mean? He said, hey, man, this shit ain't proven. I don't need you. He literally took the helmet off. He gave him his sword back, and he gave him his shield, and said, I'm good, man. This stuff's not proven, but my faith is. That's the kind of faith that the men of Yahweh have to be taken up in them chariots, man. If you don't got that kind of faith, then you might as well just go be a fucking heathen, man. You might as well just don't even come to camp and go be a heathen, man. If you want to put your value and your trust in money and in Esau's corporate world, go do that, because Yahweh don't need you, man. You're just literally just You know, that's that hand you have to cut off of your body. You know what I mean? If you ain't ready to do this, then hey, it's better that you don't come into this thing. You know? Go ahead on.
And David put them off him. And he took his staff in his hand and chose him 5 smooth stones out of the brook and put them in a shepherd's bag, which he had, even his scrip and his sling.
There it is, David and Goliath. Get those dogs. Flip the camera as we're talking about it, you know? The big dog and the little dog, right? Right? We didn't get it on camera, but those 2 dogs were getting ready to scrap. The owners had to pull them away, you know? That's that David and Goliath spirit. That little dog have the David spirit, you know? he wasn't worried about being smaller, right? David was smaller. He didn't even want the armor. He didn't even want the sword. He said, hey man, I got my slingshot. You know? I'm about to kill this filthy Philistine with my slingshot, you know? There's those examples. Yahweh always brings these examples, man. That dog's way bigger than a little dog, you know? Go ahead.
Even in script, and his sling was in his
Yahweh
hand,
does that all the time, you know?
and he drew near to the Philistine. Verse 41.
That's good on that, Ak. I just wanted to show the faith of David that he had, because we all know the ending to that story, how it went, you know? What happened is David hit him in the forehead with a rock with his slingshot, and then he took Goliath's sword and chopped his head off, you know, with his own sword. He didn't need Saul's sword. But would he have done that if he didn't have faith? No. Are we going to get taken up in those chariots without faith? No. All right? You got to have faith, man. You guys scoffing who are watching these videos for entertainment, you know, you lack faith, man. You got a feminine spirit. You know, even if you're an Israelite, you lack faith. You have a feminine spirit, and you can't understand what we're telling you today. You can't understand the chariots are the true salvation. All right.
Can you bring out a quick set?
Go ahead, Ak.
Yeah. It says, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Khan. Unfaithful is you know, unrighteousness, lacking faith, feminine spirit. That's what it is. The brother just brought it out. Bring it out one more time, Ak.
For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Khan, you don't believe this truth, and we don't care, and neither does Yahweh. All right, you're gonna die in your unfaithfulness. You know, you don't believe that the chariots are gonna be the true salvation. Well, that's okay. You're not gonna be don't expect to be taken up in one when Yahweh puts His spirit on Esau to send those missiles to hit Babylon. All right, and that's the scripture speaks about. Hey, at that time, people are going to be like, you know, trying to call on Jesus and whatnot, and guess what's going to happen? Yahweh going to laugh at their calamity, you know? You laughing at us right now, well, hey, Yahweh's going to laugh at you right when that happens. You know? Okay, Ak, you want to grab James 1 and 8? And then go ahead, Ak. Sirach. We'll just get through this chapter 2 and then.
This is going on Sirach 2 and 11. For Yahweh is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction.
And that's what we've been bringing out today, you know. Well, we're not perfect. We sin. You know, our flesh keeps us from keeping the law to 100%, you know. But guess what? You know, even though we're sinful, you know, we're going to be saved in the time of our affliction, Lord willing, you know, for the work we're doing, you know, and for hopefully, you know, sealing the elect. We're being a part of that, you know, practicing righteousness, right? Yahweh Shai did this, man. Think about it. Yahweh Shai was walking in Rome and everywhere he went, doing what we're doing, man. You know, people. What does the white man say? What would Jesus do? You know, you got to change that acronym to what would Yahweh Shai do? You know, you'd be all right. Look at that car.
God. Verse 12. Woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
Con. Yeah, you can't be double-minded in this truth, you know?
Or faithful.
Con. You gotta keep it 100, you know, like they say in the world, you know? You want to bring that out, Ak? James 1:8?
Yeah, you gotta be prepared.
James 1:8.
Ready to swing that sword.
Con.
This is James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Con, that's it, Ak. So a double-minded man is unstable, man. If you're like, you want to come to a camp and act like, yeah, you guys come to camp and you're like, oh yeah, guys, this is the truth. You guys have the truth. Then you go back and you go with your woman to Catholic church or you go do some heathen shit, you know? That's double-minded, man. Yahweh he don't like that shit, you know? We got to be
Either hot or cold.
Con, the men of the truth, we have to have a thing called integrity, all right? Meaning, we gotta be in this thing even when no one's looking. You can't just be like in the scriptures only when the brothers are around. You know?
That was like, I remember Khalil, one of his brothers had told him, they're like, hey, what do you actually do? And I was like, and I was confused by the question. I was, what do you mean, what do I actually do? And
yeah,
Kyle was like, he's asking you what you do for work, and he looked at his brother and he was like, we're full-time Israelites, bro.
yeah.
Because he was like meaning like, you know,
full-time Israelite.
Yeah, because he was, you know, because the way he was asking made it sound like, you know,
what
we do. Oh no, that's what he said. What do you do full-time? That's what he said.
Oh,
like saying we were like part-time, we do this, but full-time we have our jobs. You know?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got to be a full-time Israelite, man. You can't be a Jake on the weekends, you know. You can't be, you know, praising Jesus with your family, you know. You can't, you know, whatever, you know. You got to keep it 100, you know. Keep it 100 in this truth, like the world says, you know. And it's funny because everybody brags that they keep it 100, don't they? They're always, I'm 100. I'm the realist.
It's even an emoji now.
Yeah, I'm the realist. Yeah, and they're all, those ones that act like that are always the most phony, you know?
Oh, yeah. Trying to compensate for something. Can we keep going?
Yeah, we're going to finish off 2 and then I'll be done. But Ak, you want to hold John 14 and 15 for me? Go ahead.
Verse 13, it says, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended.
Khan, you're not going to be raised out by that strong hand of Yahweh. You're not going to be taken up in those chariots.
You're not going to be defended, man.
He's not going to defend you. He's going to sacrifice you, man. He's going to make you right through the fire.
Yeah, you got to be clean. Going on, verse 13, or verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
Khan, so if you're one of the men that has come into the truth and then you fall out,
then Esau's still gonna get you.
Khan,
you're still on the list.
Khan, you know, you may as well you know, put your trust in the Lord like David did. You know, it would even if Goliath would have killed David that day, he would have been better off than a man that comes in the truth and falls out of the truth. You know,
basically what you're saying, man, is, you know, going back to the story of David and Goliath. David goes to fight Goliath and then starts cursing out David curses out the Most High and then goes to fight him. How do you think that would have turned out? That's basically what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
you turned around and cursed out the Most High right before you need his defense.
God, I wouldn't like your chances, you know.
No.
And we're not betting men, but we sure as hell ain't gonna put our money on a man like that, you know. You know. Go ahead.
Verse 15. They that fear Yahweh will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways.
Khan. They that love him will keep his ways. And what are his ways? The commandments,
Yep.
right?
Sabbaths, refraining from unclean meats.
Yeah, you don't want to be eating pork. You know, that's what we're talking about.
Taking
Being
part
a
in these
Jake
holy
on
days.
during the week, and you're an Israelite on Saturday or Sunday. You know, you go and eat pork. Oh, it's okay, man. That's what she made, pork. My girl, I'm just gonna eat a little bacon.
Jumping up and down at the bar, at the club, screaming, hooting and hollering
God.
with all these 2/3. You can't tell a difference between you and the 2/3 there.
God. You know, that's what it is. You know, but you know, and you see Jake doing that a lot. You know, even people in this truth, they're like, oh, well, you know, it's just a little pork. I'm just gonna eat it this time. You know, no, you got to stay away from that, man. One of the prophets, I read it. I don't remember who it was, but I was just reading it last week, and it was kind of cool because one of his lines was, "I have not defiled my mouth with swine's flesh." You know, I think it was Ezekiel, but that was a cool verse. You know, I was like, yeah. And he said in his whole life, you know, how many of us can say that? You know, because we were in darkness, man. We were eating bacon. I was eating bacon all the time, man. when I wasn't in the truth. And I was watching that movie Maleficent, you know, part 2.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they show a lot of symbolism on that, and they show them having a feast. And what do they have right on that table? A big ass pig, man, a big ass swine, you know, showing you that those, I forgot what it was, but there was the Moors and the other people, and the Moors were like the fairies and all that. And then the other side was basically representing the so-called white man, because when they invited the Moors to come to their dinner, that's what they had on the table, was a big ass pig, you know, symbolic for, hey, we're the Edomites, because these Edomites, they have bacon festivals, you know, they put bacon in everything.
That's why
man.
I don't know how many times I've seen an Edomite walking around with a shirt that just says bacon, nothing else, just bacon.
Right.
I got this quick step right here.
Con.
This is Ezekiel 22 and 26. Her priests have violated my law, and the priest is speaking about are the Israelites.
Yeah, because you can't be a priest if you're an Edomite.
Yep, or
No?
the Israelites, Brother Select. It says,
you said it right, I think.
oh, okay.
Con.
It says, and have profaned mine holy things. They have put, and this is going back to the full-time Israelite thing, put no difference between the holy and profane. Let me read that part again. They have put no difference between the holy and profane.
Con, you know, the first time I told my cousins, because my cousin made this big old pot of chili and had pork all up in it, and I had just got in the truth, and I was I'm good, I don't eat pork anymore, man. Oh, what do you mean you don't eat pork? Well, and they started mocking me, you know what I mean? You get your own family will mock you know? And then, you know, through the Spirit.
And that was the Spirit setting a difference between you and them.
Con. Yeah, that's just like you read right there.
Yep, but then you had guys that'll come out here, oh, Shalom, brothers, but he'll be over there, the first one in that pork mix. Oh, this is some good swine you cooked up.
And
Man,
it's
you need
actually,
to make me some for my house.
And spirit, it's a spiritual thing for us too, because I've actually minimized my meat intake lately. It's just a personal thing I've been doing. But the going back to that pork, you know, now because you got the internet and you know, information goes viral, and you're seeing all kinds of articles on, oh, this pork is how bad it is for you. You know what I mean? People are suffering from gout, cholesterol, and blood pressure, all kind of shit that's killing people because of their diet. You know.
Yep.
So it's a spiritual thing that we've came into this truth, and now, you know, we don't partake in that foolishness. You know? And all these brothers out here, I guarantee you guys can attest what I'm saying. You don't miss eating pork, do you? You don't miss that shit. And there was a point in time when we loved bacon.
That shit will probably make you sick now, man. If you
Right. If I try to eat, I would get sick.
You know, and I used to look at it because this started a little while back trying to eat healthy for me. I mean, even before I started learning about the truth, I was like, I used to look at everybody around me like, you guys are always sick. There's something we're eating. Like, I couldn't figure it out. It was like, what am I doing? Because obviously I was stuck in that Christian mentality then. And first thing I cut off was just like certain things. Like I would, steam my rice instead of frying and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And bake all my things in the
Oh,
oven instead
yeah,
of
that
using
brings
all the
to
lard and
back into
stuff like that.
remembrance. I like playing basketball, right? And I played basketball, and yesterday I played 7 a.m. till like 10, right? And it was fun. My body was sore as hell afterwards. And one of my friends was like, "Hey, eat some yams, man," because they called me. They want to go back and play more at 12, right? From 12 to 3. I'm like, "Oh, there's no way, man. I'm limping back to the car. My cab was all tight." And they said, "Hey, eat some sweet potatoes, man. Boil it and then just eat it." And if you have some ibuprofen, I took a little ibuprofen. Bro, I was amazed at how those yams helped me out, man. I was able to play.
being sore or what?
Well, I had like a pulled calf from last week, and it just kind of re-aggravated when I played yesterday. But I literally took those yams. It made me think of the power of the nutrition that Yahweh already gave us. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to take Esau's witchcraft or sorcery to feel better, man. But that's that deception that our people is heavy on them. Those demons of, hey, I got to take my pill for this, my cholesterol, my heart medicine, my, everything. You got people that take 15 pills a day. You know what I mean?
That goes back into Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. And Yahweh said, "Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for me."
Con, that's a beautiful step too, because that's exactly what it was, man. I was amazed at how, like, I literally played from 12 to 3 p.m. again, just because I ate some yams. You know what I'm saying? So now I know that I'm gonna start doing that. And that's what the brother just read it. Yahweh has given us these. That's why the Gadites, they were really good with nutrition, and the plants and the remedies, But it wasn't until this devil got to America, and he started giving our people all of his pharmaceuticals, And if you go back to that, it goes back to, he was making money off of those pharmaceuticals, and it was his oil, because he had just basically monopolized the oil, and they used petroleum to make those pills with the pharmacies, which we've brought it out before. Pharmacy in the Greek, it means witchcraft, pharmakia. So that's why when you go to King Supers, you say King Supers witchcraft. Picture that when you go take your pill. And you can tell people that too. I tell a lot of people that now, especially when they tell me they're on pills. "Oh, you're taking witchcraft. That's what it means." Like, "Oh shit, really? I didn't know that."
I think
Well, that's
after my
'cause
accident,
you ain't got no knowledge, fool.
after that accident I had, and I was still like searching for the truth, I couldn't find it. I was like, I had that zeal in me, like there's something off. Anyways, I had a bad accident where it almost cost me my life. But I kid you not, everywhere I went, once I was able to start eating like whole meat again, and not like a baby, because I was on a liquid diet, I was, for sure, I was not eating nothing at McDonald's. I was going to like Burger King. I'm like, man, this tastes disgusting. I would throw it away. I would like take one bite and throw it away.
That was
Like,
your
man,
body.
I'm like, it was rejecting a lot of things. And then I started finding out, like, hey, the truth. They're like, oh, like, then I heard, hey, stop eating pork, this and that. Like, I like start looking at everything, all the ingredients. Are like, refried beans has pork. I was like, oh no, like this is going out my diet. This like for like first 3 months, I was like staying away from meat completely until I was able to get that understanding of what certain meats I could eat. That we're not going to be.
And we're not telling you.
At the same time, we're in Babylon, so we have to pray over everything. Because these guys.
Everything's defiled here with Esau. Everything Esau touches is defiled. He's an unclean spirit, an unclean man. And like the brother was saying, yeah, there's pork in everything, man. Even in these little gummy bears that the kids eat. So Esau knows what he's doing. He does it on purpose.
Yeah.
When a Jake goes to prison or jail, guess what the Esau's feeding him? Pork. You know? Because the devil knows that as long as the people of Israel are in darkness, he has no problem, right?
Yep.
When the men start waking up, that's why they're going to come down on us, you know? Because Lord willing, we're those first fruits with Yahweh Shai, and we're out here, you know, breaking down the truth, breaking down the knowledge to our people, you know? Yeah.
Sirach.
16, I think. You want to grab Matthew 10?
This is Sirach 2 and 16. They that fear Yahweh will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Khan. So that's what we're doing out here, man. We're learning the laws. You know, every time we come to camp, we're like, oh man, that makes sense. I didn't know that. You know, I know that's how I am. You know, and the brothers, when we come, you pick something up. You know, or you're refreshed. You know, you may have read something, and maybe you were a little confounded when you read it the first time, but then one of the brothers gives a breakdown on it. You know, and that's what's filling us with the law. Let me bring out this precept real quick. This is Acts 2 and 4. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. So that's what it is. The men of the truth are going to have the ability to be filled with that Holy Spirit, man, because of the diligence. And then when we're in the kingdom, we don't even need the Bible in our hand. We won't even need the Apocrypha in our hand. You know, it's going to be second nature to us. You know, but that's what we're doing. We're trying to fill ourselves with the knowledge of the Most High. You know, of Yahweh. You know? We want to get the true knowledge and the true treasure. So we're filling ourselves with this Holy Spirit, man. And this is our portion every week. You know. Where were you at?
Verse 17.
Okay, go ahead.
They that fear Yahweh will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight.
Khan. We're preparing our hearts, and heart means mind. We're preparing our mind for the sight of those chariots, you know? We're preparing our mind for the microchip, you know? We're preparing ourselves because we know that Esau's going to come down hard on us, you know? There may be a time where there's like bounty hunters looking for the men teaching this truth, you know? It was through the Spirit. I was behind a big-ass truck. I was driving home, and his license plate was like kind of abbreviated, but I was trying to figure out, what's that saying? Bounty hunters, you know what I mean? And then through the Spirit, I thought about it. I'm like, man, they're going to have bounty hunters seeking the men that are delivering this testimony, you know? You're going to have dog to bounty hunters trying to hunt you down for preaching the Bible, you know?
Hold on, verse 18, saying, we will fall into the hands of Yahweh and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
Khan. And you know, that's right in line with what we were just talking about. You know, when Esau sends his men to look for us, you know, even if they catch us, hey, we have that faith, like David, that we're going to be all right, you know. Even if they kill us, we're going to be all right. We know we're going to be all right because the truth shall set you free, right? Yeah, so we don't fear falling into the hands of Esau, you know, because just like Yahweh Shai, you know, he knew his time has come, but he didn't like act like a woman and start screaming and freaking out, you know. He knew, he handled it like a man, you know. He was crucified like a man. He took that thing like a man. He knew that was going to happen because he knew the scripts.
Like Braveheart said, give me the strength to die well.
God. Yahweh Shai took death like a man. That's how the men of the Lord, when Esau come and hunt you down, if the Lord willing and lets the Edomite, the so-called white man, if he lets him kill you, then you got to take that like a man. You can't act like a bitch in that time. Go ahead and bring out that Matthew 10 and 28.
I'm still holding John 14 and 16.
Oh, okay.
Did
I
you
thought
want
you
me
read
to
it.
bring that out?
No, bring it out real quick. Bring that out.
Okay.
My bad.
This is
15,
John
15, huh?
John 15,
14 and
14 and
14 and 15. This is John 14 and 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments.
And that was all I wanted. But yeah, that was what we were talking about earlier. The true love is obedience, right? If you love, and that's the New Testament, because the so-called white man will tell you that the commandments are done away with, right? He'll tell you, oh, Jesus died for you. You don't have to follow the laws no more. That's bullshit, because we're in the New Testament. And bring that out one more time.
John chapter 14, verse 15. If
This
ye
is
love
the
me,
New Testament for all you sorry-ass Christians out there that think the law is done away with.
if ye love me, keep my commandments.
If you love Yahweh, if you love Yahweh Shai, you need to keep the commandments. All right? Don't let a Christian dumb you down and tell you that the law is done away with. All right?
Want me to go into Matthew?
Go ahead in Matthew 10 and 28, and then skip from 28 to 32.
This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
So then jump to 32, but let me break that down real quick. So we don't fear the so-called white man who can kill us out here, right? We fear rather Yahweh, who can also kill the soul. Yahweh has the power to kill your body and your soul. All the white man can do is kill you. The so-called white man, who is the Edomite according to the Bible, all he can do is kill your body.
And that's only even if the Most High has allowed him to do so.
Yeah, just like when Yahweh Shai was on the cross, he told Pontius Pilate, he said, hey, the only reason why I'm here on this cross is because my Father gave you that power, you know? Same thing with the Lord, the men of the truth. You know, the only way we're, in that position. Hold on.
I hate to interrupt you.
Well, then don't interrupt. We're still talking.
I'm just saying. Didn't he command Pontius to do it as Abraham was going to kill his child?
Wait, come on, I can't hear you, bro.
And you just said to command is to follow the Lord's rules, you know?
So
Not getting into forgiveness and all that, but you feel me? He commanded Pontius.
Well, I can't hear you, man.
He commanded Pontius Pilate to do what he did. Pontius Pilate knew what he was doing was wrong.
Right.
And then the people followed along. What was the guy's name? Barnabas or something like that?
Yeah.
Barnabas? The one that was crucified with him?
I'm converted. I'm a Jew. Alright, so
Okay, well,
I'm kind of just figuring out like
Jewish?
my place. Well, I have ancestry, and I was raised Catholic. So I'm actually from Jersey City, New Jersey. It's a big culture shoot. And I don't know, man. It's just I don't get like the whole fucking like Jesus is a Negro, and you talk about the white man. You feel me?
That's because you're Jewish.
It's in the Bible.
I mean, I believe the pig
Read
was
Revelation
Sunday
2 and
school.
9, bro. Bring that out. Revelation 2 and 9. Go ahead. We'll let the Bible speak, all right?
New Testament, as you said. Hebrew Bible.
Or we can even go into
Revelation,
Daniel as well.
let's just bring Revelation 2 9.
This is
I got some
Revelation
Old Testament scripts for him.
Yeah, because the
2 and 9.
Jews. Go ahead. Bring it out, on.
This is and I know the works.
Yep.
This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. And I know the works and tribulation.
Lift up the voice, on to that bus.
This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say that they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
So who are the ones that say they're Jews right now in America? Or I mean in Israel. It's
Right
the
here, man.
so-called white man.
These
Yeah,
guys
Right?
that own the world.
They're not the true Jews, man.
And
Jews,
it's
you
not
know.
a bad thing to say that, like European banking systems during World War I and the history of, Jewish popularity amongst the wealth. It's not, a big secret. But I can see what you're saying there, totally.
Right. So what it is he just read that they say they're Jews, but they're not. Because the true Jew is
So somebody's really not a Jew.
Jew. is short for Judah, which is the tribe of Judah, who was the so-called black man. That's why
they were all separated amongst.
That's why Yahweh Shai is described as a so-called Negro in the Bible, with woolly hair. And skin was like grass burned into a furnace.
Let me grab another one, brother.
Kind.
This is Lamentation 5:1. Actually, I'm going to go to verse 2. It says, our inheritance is turned to strangers,
14.
our houses to aliens. So these Israelites, they're and this is going to the book of Lamentations. So after their destruction came, right? Here's the captivity sign. After they were being put under persecution by the world because from going off from the law, statutes, and commandments, this was one of the curses that hit them. That their inheritance would be turned to strangers and their houses to aliens. So who are the aliens that are living in Israel?
The so-called
Somebody's living there that shouldn't be living there.
Well, if you're Jewish, you can.
You're actually, according to the Bible,
because according to the Bible, they're strangers.
Well, that's
right.
Where, the country's going right now. That's why they say, Israel has some of the most beautiful women.
Well,
in the world,
here's the deal. Here's the deal. The men that are in Israelis in the Bible, they're Amalek.
Here, let me keep going, brother. Let me keep going.
Going
on, verse 3, it says, we are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are widows. Let's see. You said that these guys started World War I. You were testifying to their power.
I believe World War I was a large array of just conflict.
So it's just a piece, though. I'm just pointing out the power that these people have, and it's saying that they're orphans and fatherless. It says we have drunken our water for money. So somebody's charging us to drink water. Who's doing that? Is that these guys? Hell yeah, that's these guys. It's not the so-called black man. It's not the so-called Mexican. It says, our wood is sold unto us. So now I can't just go chop down a tree and make a house. Because why? Because the so-called white man came and took this place by bloodshed, man. From who? From the Israelites. From those that are motherless, fatherless. Those that are orphans, the true Israelites of the Bible, you see?
So I have a question. I actually don't know the answer to this. And part of the reason I've looked into my conversion, right, is because I believe an Israelite, just the word itself, right, is someone who is born into persecution, right?
Sons of God.
Excuse me. And so
Yasharallah
it's
is
like
in
being
Hebrew.
born into life and not really being able to, control the situations that unfold in front of you, but still carrying whatever it is that is holy an entity to someone. You feel me? And
so what it is, it's literally a bloodline. It's a heritage. It's not like a spiritual conversion or nothing like that.
No, and
like,
of course.
Right. So the word Israel in Hebrew is Yasharallah. Is Yasharallah. Yasharallah translates to sons of God. Right? So it's talking about a bloodline, a heritage, which are the so-called blacks.
Just like God translates,
well, so-called black men are the true Jew, right? That's why your people call themselves Jewish.
The original man.
Right. But hear me out. You guys call yourself Jewish, right? Right?
I'm not actively.
You just said you were Jew, though, right?
So
do they not call themselves Jewish?
Catholic.
Yeah, but do you call yourself?
See, it's more of just like.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make.
Messianic Jew.
That's
That's what you're
Messianic.
talking about. A Messianic Jew. That's what you're talking about.
So if this guy was acting up and we said, oh, he's childish, right? It doesn't mean he's a child. It means he's acting like a child, right? So when you call yourself Jewish,
You're acting
it's the
like
same
a Jew.
thing. You're not
You're
really
doing
a
things
Jew.
that pertain to Jew.
You're Jewish, right? That's why the Messiah was not. He was from the tribe of Judah. That's what Jew is short for, right? And then go ahead and bring out, just to establish the fact that he was a so-called black man, Revelation 1:14.
This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
Who has woolly hair on the planet Earth?
Certainly not this guy.
And that's a Catholic image. You know what I mean? The Roman.
It
Where'd it
even
come
goes
back?
before
Where'd
that.
it come
Look,
back?
This is what the
I
Greeks
know
set
that
up.
Jesus doesn't look like that. You know what I mean? We're young.
And it goes back
Well,
before
we
that,
know
man.
we're bringing it out right now. We are, because you said you didn't believe he was a
That's
Negro.
Negro being propaganda.
So literally, we just brought it out. The brother said he had hair like wool, right? So the so-called black man has woolly hair. Keep reading that on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like were unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace.
So if you took a trombone and you threw it in the furnace, it's going to be dark, right? It's not going to be pale face like that guy. And you already said you don't agree with that image, but
I think it's just misconception. Yeah, it's deceiving.
because
Deceiving, yeah.
because it
Everyone
goes
knows
back
that
into
anyway.
but we're telling you the truth that he was actually a so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah. You know? Do you accept that?
What does that mean? What do you exactly? Is
Well,
that
he was a
bad
black
thing?
man, a so-called black man.
if you look on our
It's not
12
it's
He
definitely
died a
not
black man's
it's
death.
definitely
our
not a bad
12
thing.
tribe chart,
I mean, yeah.
the tribe
no,
of
I don't
Judah
think
are
that's-
so-called Negroes. If you look at our tribe chart right there, it tells you Judah,
What do you guys call
so-called
yourself?
Negro.
What
We're
is
the
Hebrew
Hebrew
Israelites.
Israelites. By heritage, we
Real
are the
Hebrew
Israelites. If you read this book,
Through our
which is
faith,
in the
what is
Bible,
This is the
The Bible.
King.
Because I feel
King
like this
James
comes off
Bible.
as hateful to you. You feel me? But
it,
like,
it is to you. It is hate. But you know what? Your people, these guys, they've oppressed our people, and you don't bring that hate up. You know what I mean?
I'm Cuban, right? I'm Cuban.
Well,
Second
you might even
I
be.
thought you said you
You
were
just said
Jewish,
you're
though.
Jew, man. Now you're Cuban.
And I have, dude.
So,
Who-
so
what is your dad?
I mean, if we want to get down to it, I'm probably all the fucking way from
What is your
Spain,
dad, bro?
And a
Or
part
your
of
grandfather?
My dad is pure Cuban.
It comes
Okay,
down
so
to
you
you're
could
probably
be
an
an
Israelite
Israelite.
anyway.
You're
You
probably
probably
an
are a real
Israelite. You're over
Israelite.
here. But see, the white man has confused you to the point where you're telling us you're Jewish, now you're Cuban.
I mean,
It's through,
that
brother,
Whoa.
Anna,
How can you not
Anna.
follow a certain religion
Anna.
and not be from a certain place? in the
Anna,
world?
bring out
That's like
Numbers
saying it's just
1:18.
exclusive to not that place.
Numbers
this
1:18.
this
Wait,
is
we
only
gotta-
exclusive to the Israelites.
You know,
God.
there's Jews that believe in Jesus, right? I
we
feel
believe
like
we don't
people
deal
use
with
the
them,
word
you know?
like Jew or Jewish, like no
And-
one actually knows what kosher means.
And really,
And,
hey,
oh,
you
they wear
said
big
we were
hats,
hating.
but, like,
We come off
no,
as
I
hate.
mean-
Let me just reiterate something to this guy,
yeah,
because
for sure.
But
I
we
don't really blame
so
anyone
so
for
so what we're
myself.
telling you is the people in Israel today are not the true Israelites.
That's why they call themselves
The Israelites
Israelis.
will be brought back to their land after prophecy is fulfilled according to the Bible.
That's
In
a lot of
in the
blood.
books of the prophets. There's
Yes,
going to be
that is
there's
a
going to
lot of
be
blood.
yeah,
Isaiah
there's going to be
66:15.
peace on earth when they return to that land. There's going to be World War III before that happens. You see, 200 million thermonuclear missiles are prophesied to hit America.
So I feel that's true about Israel, but what do you have to say about the Vatican and?
Oh, they're gonna
That's
get
all-
it too.
That's demonic.
Yeah, they're
that's
gonna get it
going
too.
down. That's the. That's,
So do we give them a pass? Like,
No, no.
Yahweh's God is gonna fuck them up.
Here, let me answer them real quick.
And also bring out. Well, we won't go there, but the Bible says you're whatever your father is. Okay, so your mother, whatever she is, that's not your race.
Okay.
According to the Bible, it's the seed of your father.
But really, your spirit bears witness. Because like you
Kind-
said,
kind.
you could look into your thing and you might be all the way back to Spain. You don't really know. But your
It's your
spirit
spirit.
bears witness whether you're an Israelite or not. Because all of us have
Kind.
been, the look at these captivities, man. All these different captivities the true Israelites have went through. You're gonna have
Syrian, Babylon.
you're gonna have children born throughout all these nations that are Israelites.
So you saying that the people in the Holocaust were actually? I don't.
What does Holocaust mean? What does that word
Holocaust?
mean?
I mean,
It means holy fire, bro. So that was not a Holocaust, man. The true Holocaust is coming, man. You know, that was part of the deception. Just like your people call themselves Jews, they're really not Jews. They're Amalekites, according to the Bible.
But
We just read it. The
we
fake
need to
Jews.
go back into
Wait, hold
history
on, hold
and
your
find out
peace.
exactly
Ak,
what was going
Ak,
on.
Hold your peace. So, in the same fashion that you came up on the camp today and said you're a Jew, and you're not a so-called Negro. The same fashion. But the whole thing the point I'm making is it's all deception. That Holocaust is part of the deception. And some say that the Holocaust didn't even happen. You know, there are some historians that will bring that out. You know?
I wouldn't.
But that word Holocaust literally means holy fire. So, and you know, this is not an act of hate. We're actually just giving you the truth. But you take it as hate because you're not used to the truth.
At the end of the day, man, we just believe in the Bible,
Yeah.
and anybody can take it whatever way they want.
It doesn't.
It is what it is.
And-
Exactly what they believe in.
Another
I
point-
talk to people you guys are poor and they fucking yelled at me and shit. But I mean, I definitely get the point you're saying across.
Con,
And
another
I don't think
point-
it's from a place of hate. I think it's a place of just.
Let me make
Like
another
Taylor
point real quick.
expectations.
There are Israelites that look like you, all right? We're not saying, oh, all white people are the devil. Because our men on this chart over here have taken on heathen women, and our kids don't always look like the 12 tribes.
Yeah, I'm already light complected as it is.
God.
So if I got with a white woman, my kid for damn sure would probably look like a Caucasian.
Oh, my little nephew, bro, he looks just like a white boy. He's got blue eyes, blonde hair, but he's an Israelite, you know? So we're not out here, you know.
And how does one, it's a self, finding, right? You discover that on your own. You feel me?
Through the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, through
man's going, hey, Psalms 20 and 24.
I got this one too. This is Romans 8 and 14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba. The Spirit itself,
Abba means father.
beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. So really, at the end of the day, man, if you're able to understand this Bible, the truth about it, and you believe you're an Israelite, that's all that matters.
God.
You don't gotta come up and present us with an ancestry test.
In
None of
other
that.
words, if we tell you that, hey, Yahweh Shai was a so-called black man, and you're like, oh wow, and you listen to that verse we just read, and you're like, oh my God, that's true. Then that your spirit bears witness, testifies that you're probably an Israelite. But if you sit here and you like beat around the bush and go around that you can't answer definitively, then that spirit bears you're probably an Edomite. You know, the Bible says that the Spirit bears witness, because like I said, not all Israelites look like the so-called black man or the so-called Hispanic or Native American man, right?
You also got people that look like so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans who are Edomites.
Con, and you want to bring that out?
Descendants of
Psalm
Spain.
20,
What is
24.
so? An Edomite is exactly
24.
what? Is it a belief system or is it
No,
Maybe
so
it's,
you have
born
18
into
nations. You have 18
Okay,
nations
my bad.
in the
Man, I'm trying to get
during the
man's
creation,
going
right?
to
You have
the
18
Lord.
nations that originally inhabited the planet Earth. Okay, after Noah, after Ham, Shem, and Japheth, out of them sprang forth the 18 nations, and one of those nations is the progenitor of the so-called white race, which is Esau. Another one of those nations is the progenitor of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, the
Proverbs.
Israelites. You also have another one of those progenitors is the progenitor of Ham, the Hamites, the Africans. They're different people.
And you asked about like the conversion or whatever you were saying. What were you asking about the Spirit?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna actually, go all like communion, confirmation, and all that. I've done that. I consider myself a Catholic. I accept the Trinity as
Catholicism,
will
bro, that's
save
a whole
me.
nother story.
And so I only take that with a grain of salt, as in belief, hope. You can't give up on hope. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah, but
Well,
you
like
just
we
gotta
said,
believe in something.
you just gotta fact check, man, because the
I mean,
Trinity.